What is up, everyone? I am Bisharps and you are watching the match video for my game against, let me look it up real quick, it's LordZeden with, I actually don't know this man's team name. It's the Tulsa Excadrillers. This man is has an incredibly scary team. I hope I can get it on the screen right now. I don't know for sure, but I'll try. Of Mega Latias, Skarmory, Diggersby, Florges, Mienshao, Swampert, Skuntank, Rotom, and Vanilluxe. So, that's incredibly scary, especially that Mega Latias is so scary. And I honestly am gonna have a hard time facing off no matter how well I prepare, so I decided to just say fuck it and not prepare for it. Which is a really bad idea, but I'm gonna do it anyway because fuck it. So, what am I bringing? I am bringing Sticky Web. And this is the thing I was talking about that I don't think anyone realized my team has potential for. Sticky Web is what I drafted it for. I drafted Smeargle for this. I drafted almost my entire team because of webs. And this is so good because after webs, Tyrantrum is a monster, Tapu Bulu is a monster, Bisharp is a monster, Alakazam doesn't even get outsped by Scarfers anymore, becomes a monster. This is so solid. And I'm really excited to get it to work. So what do? We lead Smeargle, we set up the Sticky Web. He has a Skarmory, yes, but if he goes Skarmory into Smeargle, we outspeed and we spore it immediately. And then we switch out into our Bisharp, into our Tyrantrum, whatever, and we set up. Or we SD with Smeargle and Baton Pass into something and become even more terrifying. Because after an SD, Bisharp, Tyrantrum or Bulu will put in so much work, and I have a lot of faith in these Pokemon. So, next up is a Mega Alakazam. Now this was also drafted on the basis of webs and keeping in mind Little Cup webs, which obviously uses Abra. This thing is already super fast, of course, it outspeeds everything, so it's kind of weird on webs, but what it means is that even a Scarf Mienshao can't outspeed it anymore. Anything Scarf can't outspeed it anymore, unless they're flying. But his Latias cannot be Scarf because it's Mega, and his Skarmory, it would be a Scarf Skarmory. I'm fine with him running Scarf Skarmory, so whatever. Psychic is my stat move of choice. I have been debating Psychic versus Psyshock. I then went with Psychic because it hits harder, and realistically his team isn't especially physically or especially defensive. Except for the Florges, which I guess Psyshock would be better for, but I have different ways of dealing with the Florges than this Mega Alakazam. Actually, I would need to do some calcs. Let me just calc it real quick. Why not? It's fine. Alakazam Mega. And Florges, the regular set. Psychic versus Psyshock. Psyshock does barely more, but is there any reason to run Psychic over Psyshock? I guess the Swampert. Let me see how much it does to Swampert. What the difference is. Yeah, Psychic does 2 KO Swampert, so yeah, I'm going with Psychic. Shadow Ball hits Mega Latias and hits, I believe, one more thing. Rotom. And hit him on ground is for Skuntank. And I have Calm Mind. I'm gonna rely on offensive pressure to set up this Calm Mind. I don't think I'm getting it up, but I didn't need a 4th move, so I might as well have this move. Right. Also, Trace is really neat to potentially get something like. Actually, there's not much to gain. I guess there's not really that much to gain in this match, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Yeah, that's about it for Alakazam. It's a pretty standard Calm Mind set. It's solid. I just built this team, so I'm not entirely certain about everything yet, but whatever. I have enough speed to outspeed, I believe, Scarf. Rotom? Was it? Do I outspeed the Rotom? With this? What is Scarf? 309. That hits 463, 60. I believe I only hit that if I run max. Even max doesn't hit that. So go for something else. Was it Scarvanlux? May have been Scarvanlux. I just know this is the most optimal spread that I want. Oh, Scarf Diggersby, that's what it was. I outspeed Scarf Diggersby with this set. So that's what that's for. Otherwise it's pretty standard. The rest is just done to special defense to take on Mega Latias slightly better. Next up is my Rock Polish Bisharp. This is terrifying. If this gets an SD pass from Smeargle and it gets the Rock Polish up, it will destroy his team as long as webs are up, because then Scarf Biencho can't outspeed and kill it anymore. And I just kill back after an SD with Iron Heads. Easy peasy. What it also does is it gets the Divine boost for absolutely free from Skarmory and can just knock over Iron Head or whatever. Or like the Divine boost, I guess. It can also potentially get a Divine boost from something like a Vanillex Icy Wind or Swampert Icy Wind or something like that. Or Florges Moonblast into special attack drop. Something like that. It's just a neat little Pokemon that is mainly there to pressure Latias and get the Divine boost from the Skarmory. Next up is Tyrantrum. It's a Dragon Dance variant. I know it's weird to boost so much speed on webs, but it's so important that I get that speed to outspeed that Latias, which is what I'm doing here. Dragon Dance, Head Smash, or Dragon Claw, Earthquake. I was debating Hone Claws in the last slot because Earthquake isn't super important, but it OHKOs Skuntank without a boost, so that's kind of cool. Otherwise, Head Smash and Dragon Claw nuke his entire team. So it's as simple as that. If this gets an SD pass, it wins, assuming it, and gets a Dragon Dance potentially even, then it just outright wins because it OHKOs his entire team. Next up is my choice Bandit Tapu Bulu. This is of course the standard set, except I want Mega Horn over Stone Edge because Mega Horn OHKOs Latias. It's really as simple as that. Latias is incredibly centralizing force this game, but I have ways to deal with it. Woodhammer is a nuke, Hornleech is slightly less of a nuke, and Superpower hits Skarmory and Skuntank at least to some extent. Nature's Madness is definitely an option that I'm considering, but I don't want to go for that. Because it can miss and Superpower hits hard enough when Bandit and SD boosted and stuff. So this is plenty. Next up is Gligar. Last up is Gligar. Gligar is incredibly passive this game. I didn't even bother giving an attacking move. I really wanted to toxic the Mega Latias if I got a chance. This specially defensive. It takes any hits from Mega Latias, any 2 hits except HP Ice, but if he runs HP Ice, it's complete Bishop fodder. So I doubt he brings HP Ice. I think it's going to be HP Fighting. Yeah, I want to toxic the Mega Latias, and that will wear it down super quickly. That's really the team. I went over it very quickly because I want to go and play, because I'm probably playing right now. Yeah, it's our standard sets. I'm scared to death of Calm Mind Mega Latias. If he doesn't have that, I should be fine. If he does, with HP Fighting and with Psychic, HP Fighting, Roost, Calm Mind, that's an issue. A really big issue. But we'll see what happens. That's also kind of the set I'm expecting. And if that happens, I'm just gonna have to hope that I can SD pass into Bisharp and Sucker Punch it. That's all I can do. So, I'm going to see you guys in the battle. I'm out for now. See you there. So, this isn't what you guys expected. Yeah. So, what happened was, my opponent wanted to play on a different Pokemon Showdown server. I play Pokemon Showdown in the application, and other servers are always played on in browser. That means that I was recording the application of Pokemon Showdown while playing in my browser, because I am a complete idiot. So the match is over, and I know the results, and my opponent knows the results, and it was a really fun game, but you guys don't know the results yet. So we are gonna go ahead and play. So I went into this completely having forgotten that Latias and Skuntank both get Defog. I realized this on turn 1 I realized, wait a second, Skuntank gets Defog, and on turn 5 or so I realized Latias gets Defog. But let's just get into this. I Oh, I should actually turn on the music this time. I usually watch without, but let's... So, he leads his Vanilluxe, I lead my Smeargle. I just want webs, because I'm like, oh, he doesn't have hazard removal. And I set up my webs, and then I realize, fuck, Skuntank gets hazard removal. Now, I go into Bisharp on this Vanilluxe because I want to force it out. He goes into his Swampert. I get a little bit of a feeling for how he wants to deal with the Bisharp, which is really neat. And on the Swampert, I go into my Tapu Bulu. And keep in mind, the webs are up, so I outspeed at this point everything, which is huge. So he goes for the Ice Punch, does nothing because I'm bulky banned, which is neat. And I Horn Leech here. See the damage. See that that's almost 50% of Latias. That's really good info because that tells me how bulky he is. I now know that Woodhammer is a 2-hit KO, which is awesome to know. I just go into Gligar, which is my Latias answer. And I U-turn out immediately, I believe. I believe I U-turn out. Yeah, I do. I U-turn out because I want to keep up the momentum, because I need that offensive pressure constantly. I go into my Bisharp because I'm convinced this game can't hurt me. He could have been Scarf for HP fighting, that's what I was most scared of. He was Specs though, and that just dies. No problems there. I went for knockoff because I want to potentially knock off the Mega Swampert. He goes to his Mienshao, which is U-turns out in my Gligar switch. I want to talk about that. Can I pause this? I want to talk about that switch to Gligar, because that was something I was debating for a while. I was considering going into Bulu, because what happens with Bulu is that it immediately puts a ton of pressure on him to go into his Latias, which I can switch into then to my Gligar. But and then U-turn out, getting the momentum back, etc, etc, etc. Why I decided to go Gligar was because I figured, okay, if I go Bulu and he knocks off, I lose my band and I lose pretty much all of my wall breaking power, so I cannot afford that. If I lose Eviolite on Gligar, it's huge, but it's not as huge as losing my choice band. So I went Gligar here. Gligar, I don't really know what I'm going to name this thing. Or what I'm going to call this thing. I forgot nicknames as well, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. So I went to Gligar, and he went for knockoff, for the U-turn, which was probably best case scenario because knockoff was super scary. And he goes to Swampert. So let's see this go. Swampert, I outspeed thanks to webs. Every single time is a free switch into my Tapu Bulu. Every single time. He goes for rocks. I don't care because my team isn't weak to them. I know I can't remove them because if I remove them with Gligar, I remove my webs. But I just click. I click Mega. Oh right, I need to talk about that turn. So this is the situation. Tapu Bulu versus Swampert. This is a situation where I said, as soon as I U-turn with the Gligar, I'm going into Tapu Bulu and I click Mega Horn. If I catch the Mega Latias, this game is over. Because it was easily his best way of dealing with most of my mons, including Tapu Bulu, including Mega Alakazam, including Tyrantrum, because it outspeeds. It was just so important for him. He needed that Pokemon. And I click Mega Horn here, he does go into it, I land it, and that is game. I don't know if I said it, but I thought at least this is game. Now, he goes into his Skuntank, which is actually really annoying and becomes a huge problem for me. I go into Bisharp because I'm expecting his Skuntank to have Defog. He ended up not having Defog, which was huge, but if he defogs there, if he did defog there, I'm gonna pause this because I'm talking about this. If he defogs, I get the +2 on my Bisharp. I set up a Rock Polish on a switch to Swampert and I OHKO his team. That was my logic. So I knew I would win by going into Bisharp there. Because Skuntank, unless it runs Fire Blast, which was a legitimate option, but I thought he'd have Defog, Sucker Punch, Poison Jab, and then Pursuit for Mega Alakazam. That was not and didn't end up being his set. He didn't have Defog. I don't know the rest of his moves, but we'll just let it go. He goes to his Swampert again. I didn't set up a Rock Polish because I didn't have the Defiant boost, which I needed to sweep. He goes for Brick Break, which I honestly don't know why he had Brick Break, because he might as well just EQ the Bisharp, I feel. Here, this is what surprised me. I calced, and I know Skuntank is supposed to take like almost like over 50% from Horn Leech. This kind of confused me. At this point, it's what the hell is this Skuntank? Well, what set is this? This doesn't make sense. I didn't know what EVs he was running. I assumed he was fully physically defensive, but I wasn't sure. And this is actually interesting, because this is nearly impossible for me to take down, so I haven't won yet, because this thing is so bulky. I have to go into my own Bisharp, and he foul plays, which essentially tells me, okay, so he's missing one of those 4 moves, which I was expecting him to have. There's no way he's lacking Pursuit, because he needs it to take care of Mega Alakazam. So it means either no Defog, or no Sucker Punch. Which one of the 2 it is? I don't know. I doubt no Defog, because he's facing a Webs team, but he may not have realized it was Webs. I don't know. So he goes to his Mienshao, which just dies to Iron Head, no problems. Like, I'm fine with taking that thing out. He goes to Swampert. At this point I sack my Bisharp, because I don't think it's useful anymore at this low HP. He just kills it, that's fine. I get a free switch into my Bulu yet again. I believe I Wood Hammer here. Yes, I Wood Hammer, because if he switched into Skuntank, I get a huge damage off on that thing. So here I have a hard... oh, I want to pause this. No, okay, it spoiled it. But next turn. Yeah, I have a hard choice to make, because I want my Bulu, because it's my best way of dealing with the Florges, outside of toxicking it and hoping he does have aromatherapy. But I also don't want anything to take a hit from this thing, because foul play hurts. It wouldn't really have hurt Bulu, but it would have hurt anything else. So I was conflicted here. I went into Tyrantrum, as you could see, because my logic was, if he foul plays here and I stay in, he gets 2-hit killed by Wood Hammer and he loses the game. So I don't think he foul plays. I was wrong. He does foul play. Oh, this is also where I realize I'm not recording, so yeah. He does foul play, and I am going to Tyrantrum, and I figure I'll just EQ him. And he tanks that easily. And I'm like, what the fuck is... I go into Gligar, bluffing the EQ. It's totally not because I forgot I didn't have EQ. I set up the rocks because I want to wear down this Skuntank more. And then I Toxic it, and he Toxics me as well. I love immunity. So fucking good. I love this. Now, I go into Zam. I say it's time to pull the trigger. He does about 50% to me, but I know that after Mega Evolution and a Calm Mind, I can take another one. And this is where things are interesting. Because I Calm Mind up. And he... Now this is the most important mind game of the game. I don't think I necessarily lose if I lose the mind game. But I win if I win it. If he Sucker Punches and I attack, my Alakazam goes down and nothing goes wrong. If he Sucker Punches and I Calm Mind, once again, the mind games continue. Like, we can do the exact same one. But he can only do that 8 times because Sucker Punch is low PP. I have hit up our ground. I know 100% that kills at this range. So, is he going to Sucker Punch? That was the question at this point in time. And I hadn't seen Sucker Punch. I knew he was lacking one of the 4 moves. I had seen Poison Jab, I had seen Foul Play. He needed to have Pursuit for the Mega Alakazam. I didn't believe he didn't. And he needed to have Defog for Sticky Webs. There was no way he didn't have Defog for Sticky Webs. So, I click HP Ground. He doesn't Sucker Punch. This is outright game, because this Florges is not beating my +1 Mega Alakazam one-on-one while Toxicked. That Spadaf drop literally didn't matter whatsoever. And now he becomes kind of annoying. He starts Protect Stalling me. He protects, fine, I just kill you with the next Psychic. So whatever, he takes Toxic damage, I take Toxic damage, I click Psychic again, he protects again, because he's an annoying piece of shit, and he protects again, I can tell you that now, but he fails and I win the game. So, I know why he did the protects, he wanted to get the differential, but yeah, Mega Alakazam gets, let me see if I can count the kills. Bulu killed Swampert, Bulu killed Latias, Bisharp killed Vanillux and Mienshao, and Alakazam killed Skuntank and Florges. So 2 for Bisharp, 2 for Alakazam, and 2 for Bulu, which is honestly about what I expected the kills to go to. About the nicknames, yes, I forgot them this battle, so I'm going to tell you the nicknames for all my Pokemon right now. Smeargle will be named Bob Ross in the future, Alakazam will be Houdini, Bisharp will be Balls Deep, Tyrantrum will be... I actually haven't figured out the nickname yet. Let me come back to that one. Tapu Bulu will be Red Bull, Gligar will be Scorpio, and Tyrantrum will be... Big Mouth. After the Hippowdon that was Actually, never mind that. I don't know when that will be up. We'll see. So, anyway, I won our first match, and I honestly set a showing for myself. I said I am not afraid to bring Mega Bulu. I will bring Calm Mind, Alakazam. Granted, those really aren't that special, so okay. But I also brought Toxic Gligar, which again, not really that special, but it's something. You didn't really see my Smeargle set, which is sad, but I showed my webs off here, which is what my team is. And what will happen now, hopefully, is that people over-prepare for webs, and then I bring other stuff, because I have other stuff planned, for sure. Anyway, that's been it for me. I hope I don't face too many fat teams, and I am going to see you guys for the next video. I'm out. Peace.